live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming of a special celebration of 149th birth anniversary of Naqshbandi Sheikh Lalaji Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. Today I am speaking Lalaji, the encyclopedia of consciousness. What does it mean, encyclopedia of consciousness? There are people who become the textbook of something. It is said when we are playing cricket, he plays the textbook cricket. In textbook, everything is explained in a methodological way. When the ball comes in this way, you have to do that. The same thing is driving. There is a textbook style driving, cooking, whatsoever it is. An encyclopedia means every aspect of consciousness, how one should act in this situation, in that situation, in any situation. According to Hindus call Ram as Maryada Purushottam. Maryada means boundaries, limitations. When I say encyclopedia, you are an individual. Once you were a child. Child has certain ways and means to live. Then you become a child, a baby, and first baby, you are newly born. It has its own way how a baby should interact. Then baby becomes a child. Child becomes youth. Certain things are expected of as a youth. Then a young man. Then as a young man, the awareness is growing. You are a brother, brother to a boy, brother to a sister. You are son of a father, son of a mother. The interaction with the mother is different than with the father. You are a student. You are a driver on the road. You are the user of the road. So many different aspects. How you have to interact in each aspect. Combined together is the encyclopedia of consciousness. His life is the light of awakening to you, the beacon light. Time flows on. 149 years have passed. One moment dissolves into the next. Thus continues the journey of consciousness. There is never a break in that. And Lalaji is not a mere body. So too each one of us. But how many of us know that we are not body alone? How many, you may know it theoretically, but are you living with that awareness that you are not body alone? Body is ephemeral. Body lives for a little longer time. The changes in the body is not so visible physically. But the changes in the moods, which is an aspect of the mind, is momentarily. So is not a mere body, instead the incarnation of consciousness. He descended as love of God on earth. So too all those who have attained to something, they festival of spring, the season of spring. According to Hindu way, it is dedicated to goddess of learning Saraswati. And it is not mere coincidence that absolute consciousness assumed the human form as Lalaji on this particular day. That is why we do not celebrate his birthday according to the Western calendar, the date of birth, 2nd February. Instead, we celebrate according to Hindu calendar, the Basant Panchami. When Lalaji is consciousness, is it your past? Is that consciousness your past or future? No, he is not. He is the seed of awakening in you. You have to nourish and nurture it. Allow it to become a tree so that it can give shelter to others. It can bear fruits and flowers. He is your this moment, not yesterday, not tomorrow. You have seen a sandwich. We use a burger bun. Can you eat burger bun by itself? Is it tasty? Would you go and buy a burger bun and eat it? It is not expensive. When something is added to it, it becomes delicious. Something is put between the two layers of the burger bun. That is the patty. And it is garnished with condiments, onion, tomatoes, lettuce and things like these. All these things are put on the burger patty inside. So if the two layers of the burger that holds in its womb the burger patty is past your memory and future your imagination, between them is sandwiched the tasty that gives the flavor, that gives the value to the burger, is the burger patty. It is now. It is this very moment. It is this very moment which adds new flavor to your memories. It will add new flavor to your imagination. He surrounds you, the consciousness of Lalaji. Lalaji as consciousness surrounds you as the spring of awakening. A spring of awakening. Awakening is like the spring season that continues to blossom and spread its fragrance and beauty moment to moment. Live it. Allow this consciousness to manifest each finite moment through your life and living. Allow this consciousness, the fragrance, the beauty surround you each moment as you traverse through life's roads. Each individual has two aspects. He is born with two aspects. First and the foremost is the formless. Consciousness exists in the formless. Just as when you are going to plant something, it is formless. You conceive the idea. Then slowly and slowly it becomes a form, and a model is created that people can see. This formless and the foremost aspect of you is known as being or consciousness or God element or whatever name you want to give. It is formless. This is eternal, indestructible, blissful, all pervading beyond any boundaries. It is beyond birth, death, pain, pleasure, relation. Thus all that comes within the known dimension. Shankar calls this element as Shiva. That's why in Atma Shatkam he says when the person that he met in Himalayan mountains, Govind Pat Acharya, and he asked him, "Who are you?" Then he composed Nirvan Shatkam and he says, "I am neither the mind, nor the storehouse of the memory, nor ego sense, nor mind. My form is eternal. Chidanand Rupa Shivoham." The other aspect is form. This is bound by time and space, death and birth, known and unknown. Your body is such an element of your total consciousness. For the continuation of the process of evolution and transformation of human consciousness, it is the formless that enters the form on a particular day, particular moment. When the formless enters into the form at a particular moment, we call this as birth, and then dissolves into its eternal form again in a moment as death. Most of us are not aware of this. Sometimes they get aware of it in life. They may not. But there are those who are born with this awareness. They know the purpose of life. The purpose of life for you and I is to allow the form. The formless enters the form. Now you know that you have a body and you have a mind. Beyond that, your existence you are not aware of. Through the process of evolution, you have to attain to this formless essence once again while you are living in the world of objects and beings. Through meditation, self-discovery, the form begins to dissolve into an unknown, drop by drop, like a river merging into the ocean. Before the river merges into the ocean, it soars many times. It gets turbulent. That is the situation of each one of us. When a circumstance or situation comes, we become turbulent, we become disturbed. But the self journey must continue. Through meditation, self-discovery, the form begins to dissolve into the unknown drop by drop like the river merging into the ocean. This is the beginning or the one shore of enlightenment. One shore. When the form dissolves into totally in all its components, then another miracle happens that completes the process of enlightenment or provides the other shore for totality to manifest as you traverse through life's roads. These two shores. First, when the process of dissolution of the form begins and then completes the merging of the river water drop by drop into the ocean, begins this process according to Sufis is called fana, total dissolution. Then the ocean lends its magnanimity, totality and the quality to the drop. This is the second shore. Drop and ocean are one, and they exist in their macro and micro form together. You can be born with this awareness through your austerities, through your meditation, through your effort. You can attain to this. Then the remainder of life has to be lived with this awareness. In that awareness, Jesus becomes the Son of God. He is no more identified as the Son of Man. This aspect, when drop becomes the whole, the micro becomes the macro, it is known as Baka. When Fana and Baka are complete, one can exist both as form and formless, if that be necessary. Miracle happens through the formless. This is the miracle of existence. He exists, yet he does not exist. For you, it seems that he is existing. He gets involved into all the activities that are there. But deep within, he is not involved into any of these activities. He performs all acts, yet he does not. How does it happen? When there is a constant remembrance, effortless. Remembrance means you are aware that you are not the body, you are the formless, and you continue to live your life. Then it is the formless that is manifesting through the form. One who attains to this is an enlightened one. However, all enlightened ones cannot be mastered. Even after enlightenment, such a person remains within the narrow boundaries of religion, following the basic rituals, and his teaching remains encased within that fold. There is no trace of the beyondness. After enlightenment, one who lives in a state of beyond, the known and knowable, is indeed a master. The energy field of the master is beyond time and space. Like a rain cloud, it showers equally on all. The only difference remains if you have covered yourself with the umbrella of ignorance, narrowness, you will remain unaffected. To feel the grace of a master, no physical proximity is needed. It's not time bound. You can connect to the consciousness of Buddha, Krishna, and Ram if you have that capacity, that receiving capacity. Only the purity and innocence of consciousness is needed, and that works beyond time and space. This is the ultimate. Then life continues between two shores of Fana and Baka, like a river bed. You are flowing into the river bed with two shores of Fana and Baka. This is beyond enlightenment. And then he sings, barefooted and naked of breast, I mingle with people of the world. My clothes are ragged and dust laden, yet I am ever blissful. I use no magic to extend my life. I use no magic to extend my life. Now before me even the trees become alive. All that is in a state of unconsciousness or subconsciousness, they get alive. Inside my gate 1,000 sages know me not. Inside my gate 1,000 sages know me not. The beauty of my garden is invisible. Why should one search for the footprints of the patriarch? Why should then one should search the footprints of the patriarch. I go to the marketplace with a wine bottle and return home with myself. I visit the wine shop and the market, and everyone I look upon becomes awakened. The seed is sown. I go to the marketplace with a wine bottle and return home with my staff. I visit the wine shop and the market, and everyone I look upon becomes enlightened. Only a Buddha really understands this. Buddha means not the Gautam Buddha alone, but all those who are awakened. He lives like the bridge between birth and as one shore and death as the other. Indeed, he bridges both birth and death. Just as after awakening, the Master bridges both shores of Fana and Baka. For this reason we can celebrate, and really we must celebrate such occasions. And we cannot, because birth and death are only of the ephemeral. The birth and death is only of the ephemeral, but if you know, if you have experienced the formless within, the indestructible within, that which lives for a certain period of time is ephemeral, is born one day and then dissolves another day, is neither of these. The body and mind comes into existence one day and then dissolves to continue the cycle of birth and death. Your moods keeps on changing moment to moment. Body undergoes changes every moment. Are you living with this changeable instrument? Buddha is one who is dissolved into the ocean of eternity, one who is eternal and experiences both shores. Like a river, he flows between these two shores as birth and death. Between these two shores, he flows as a current of consciousness. His every action, every word overflows this awareness. On such occasions, the existence has assumed a certain form, so that the message of existence, message of love, message of light continues to overflow for a certain period of time. A book that comes from the divine library is available to those who are ready. They read a page or a line or a paragraph of that book. We can therefore celebrate and yet not. You can if you are aware of this. A Buddha is always aware of this. Indeed, he is celebration. The love, the message of love flows incessantly beyond time and space. It wafts like the wind. It wafts with wings like the fragrance of eternal lotus. Whether anyone understands or acknowledges the presence of sun, it goes on sharing its warmth and light to entire humanity. So too an awakened one goes on sharing the sunshine of his own blessing as love, understanding as light, as awakening, as consciousness. It is almost impossible for sun to reach all. Do it. Yet still, sun does it through its rays. It is difficult for sun to reach everyone directly, yet its rays can reach anyone who is ready. An awakened one does this through his energy field or message, or as we call tawajjuh. I wondered how an awakened one should send this to you all. Indeed, the message of awareness is the blessing and the acknowledgement for each one of you. This day, therefore, as acknowledgement, I share my being, my presence with you through the messages of love, light. Before Albert Einstein, the existence was divided into time and space. Both time and space was considered separate from one another. It was Albert Einstein, the harbinger of great revolution, that changed the entire thinking and the way of looking at the existence. Albert gave a new way, new approach, new dimension. According to him, time and space are not separate. Indeed, both are two sides of the same coin. Albert introduced a new word, a new concept, spatio-time. Time is another aspect or dimension to space. Time is another aspect or dimension of space. What is a space? Sky. Sky refers to infinite space, unbounded by any finite. Verily, when you look at the existence from the side of the time, everything appears to be different and separate. And when you look at the existence from the side of sky, you will experience oneness, the emptiness. For time, actions becomes relevant. Time is constantly moving at a tremendous speed. Whether you attain this within time span, time is action oriented. And the sky is infinite space, unmoving. Sky always is. You have to go nowhere. Wherever you are, the sky is. The space is there. This brings harmony and oneness. Mind is time oriented. Mind lives in time. Being is sky. The space oriented. It is oneness. You have nothing to do, just be. And that is all. Nowhere to go and nothing to do. Grass grows by itself. Nothing has to be done. This is beingness. When you have learned the art of going nowhere, just beingness. This is enlightenment. No duality, no oneness, no duality, just oneness, harmony and bliss. I am now. Yesterday I was not, and tomorrow too I will not be. When I dissolve and die as, and that you know as, that you know, you will not die. So too with my birth, you do not take birth. I am separate from you. Everything is separate from one another in the dimension of time. Time defines everything, but as a separate entity. Time defines everything as a separate entity. Spirituality, sky is space. Space is undivided like sky. It is vast, spread like a canopy. Time divides everything. Time is the source of division. When you look at the existence from the side of time, there is division. There is always hurry. Time is fleeting. And you have miles to go before dust into dust to disappear. Time leads to language. doing, resolutions and effort. Only then you will reach somewhere. The stream of time divides everything. Therefore, when you look at the existence from time, you will see diversity all around. And when you approach the existence from the sky side, from the formless side, you will find unity and oneness all around. Totality is your nature. To attain to flowering and godliness is your destiny. Allow your inner bliss and harmony to manifest through your life and through each actions. Remember, in such a manifestation, total harmony, oneness and bliss is embedded. However, if in your manifestation is only your harmony and not that of existence, it is ego. The way of flowering implies disappearance of ego and duality. Then you are infinite like the vast sky. You have understood the nature of formless. You are vast like a sky and unfathomable like the ocean. With birth, human body comes into existence as an aggregate of many qualities. You are born with many qualities. That which enters is unmoving, eternal. The finite, the infinite realm assumes the form. The infinite realm assumes the form. This is birth. Try to understand this with an example. You bought a clay pot from the market. There is an empty space within the pot. You call this space as pot space. Only a very limited part of the sky is encaged within that pot. With the pot you move towards the home. Do you think that the space within the pot remains the same? The inner space keeps on changing, but the sky space remains unmoving still. With the clay pot, only that much space, the sky comes, that was inside the pot when you bought it. However, the infinite sky remains there without any change. You bring the pot home, but the space within the pot remains unchanging, same. Your being is like sky, eternal, unmoving, infinite. Body has its nature, qualities, etc. Human body is like the clay pot. The body moves with you, but the inner space does not. The taste of this inner space and living by such experience, ever blissful, is enlightenment. I have heard about Mullah Nasruddin. Once he was traveling in a train. Train was moving at its pace. Mullah too was galloping inside the compartment, puffing and sweating. I inquired, what is the matter? Mullah replied that he is in a great hurry. He has to reach somewhere quickly for some function, and time was fleeting. The train is in motion. When it does, then it does not matter if you are stationary or in your motion. You are sitting in a car, traveling in a car. The car is moving. In your movement in the car will make any difference, will make you reach faster? In car, I took the example of the train because train have more space. Even if plane is flying at its pace and you keep on walking because you are in a hurry to reach the destination, the train is in motion. Then it does not matter if you are stationary or in motion. When the train is in motion at a certain speed, then your movement is meaningless. Your body is like the wheel that goes on moving, but nothing moves within. You are sitting at one place and then move to another place. You were standing and now you are sitting down. Someone was rich and now become poor. All such changes takes place on the surface. Deep within, nothing changes. Recognize and remain. Recognize that. Remember, recognize that which remains unmanifest and hidden within you. Your innerness gets nourished without nourishment. Your body needs nourishment. Your innerness gets nourished without nourishment, moves without movement, always remains unchanged, one way, harmonious and blissful. Like Mullah, you too are galloping in a moving train. The moment this becomes your realization that you do not have to leave thinking, instead, then thinking dissolves on its own. You realize its futility. Embedded with many qualities, body comes into existence. It undergoes changes from birth to death constantly. It passes through various realms of birth, childhood, youth, old age, disease, and health. Myriad stages the body undergoes. However, that which is hidden within the clay pot remains unchanging. This is the matter of understanding or awareness. You can cover the clay pot with gold or silver layers or stud with diamonds, matters nothing. The inner space remains unchanging. You may think the sky within the golden pot will be different than the space within the clay pot or the silver pot. The outer covering, as beautiful or ugliness, matters nothing. The being never comes, moves, or goes anywhere. It always remains like the vast canopy of a sky lay stretch over you. Then why and what to think about? In the inner realm, nothing changes. At the center there is no movement and nothing to do or gain. Nothing is lost or gained, expanded or contracted. Your inner space is like the vast sky. Sometimes clouds converge, rain follows, clouds disappear, sun shines. Sometimes there is clear sky, other times the sky is cloudy. Night comes, darkness spreads. Then sun rises, the rays of light disseminate light all around. Such is the vision of harmony and oneness. This is enlightened vision. The vision of a Buddha, one who is aware and knows. Chaitanya or awakening is your form, your nature. The body, the finite, may last till eternity or may dissolve this very moment. Your bliss, your awareness, your Chaitanya never changes. Then why to bother about mind, emotions, and intellect? You can live it. Like a cosmic wave, you assume form and dissolve according to your nature in the infinite ocean. Therefore, whatever is happening is because of your nature. Transcendence is behind each happening. Desire rises, Old age comes, desires vanish. Neither the desire nor anything else belongs to you. All belongs to the infinite. You are part of that alone. Sometimes you are a thief, other times you act saintly. There is nothing worth leaving or worth acquiring. No choice. Just be choiceless. This is nirvikalp bodh, choiceless awareness. Whatever waves are arising on the surface of life's ocean, that is essentially the nature of life. Your form is bliss. Be choiceless. Be a witness to all that is happening. Your form and nature is bliss, and your realm does not differ. All diversities, form, etc. are on the surface. Deep within you and I are one. On the circumference there is division. Each circle has a different circumference and differences. At the center there is oneness and harmony. Bliss is the manifestation of such harmony. Your innerness is like the axle, and that remains unmoving, and all the movements happen and changes happen along the axle. Begin the journey from circumference to the center. To recognize that axle is the center of samadhi, your being. Know this as enlightenment. You may attain to this innerness. That is my certitude. One day you will attain to flowering. It matters not if I am around or not. Existence goes on assuming myriad forms as Buddhas. Therefore, always remember, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, I go to the shelter of the awakened one. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, I go to the shelter of such commune. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, I go to the root of my essence, what is my essential religion. Human body comes into existence. Body undergoes various changes from birth to death. This passes through the various stages. Myriad stages body undergoes. Nothing remains. The being never comes, never goes. Like a cosmic wave, you assume form and dissolve according to your nature in the infinite ocean. Therefore, whatever is happening because of your nature. Transcendence is behind each happening. Desires arise. Begin your journey from circumference to the center. This is enlightenment. This is the way of life. This is the encyclopedia of consciousness. This is totality of consciousness. This is the textbook of consciousness, and you have to learn to live according to that. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again with another journey of consciousness. Take care and do have a pleasant day.